Yeah.
Let's do it. Be good if we had an intro ready to go, huh? Everyone's listening to scrape that door. I'm sure they're not doing There's anything in that Vegemite, so you can't even justify it.
I gotta eat, man.
You know, I wish I didn't throw away the Vegemite, Brian, because I just heard about these things called like miracle berries that apparently make everything taste good. So if I had that, it would make the Vegemite taste less like a dwarf's asshole. So
yeah. Well, you've tasted it. Okay. Anyway, we're not going to go there. Let's.
We don't want to know about it. Whoa, are we live? Okay, sorry. What's up?
So we're live actually now.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, well, welcome back to episode 34 of Tech Gaming Weekly. We have a special guest, Kevin from Tech Showdown. So, Kevin, do you want to tell the audience what you're all about?
Hey, guys. It's great to be here. Well, I've just been doing Tech Showdown for about almost 2 years now. And it's just a tech channel. I'm from New Zealand, so it's been really fun. I just started it one day, and it's grown faster than I ever thought it would. And basically do lots of hardware type videos, peripheral videos. My main focus has been on GPU comparisons, doing my showdowns between different cards. So that's really been the main sort of focus of the channel, but also doing laptop reviews as well have been very popular, and I really enjoy doing them. So it's just been a great, fun channel to do, and it's only growing bigger and bigger, and I'm only trying to make it better and better.
Well, awesome.
Nice. And you also have a Doge behind you. I see. That is an epic Doge poster you have.
It's actually my girlfriend's best friend actually drew that for her. It's a corgi.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe it's actually drawn.
I would have just went with Doge. Doge would have been good. All right, but anyway, Brian. So personal news. Got anything new this week? Any tech tips or anything?
Well, some big news, man. I got to see my boy for the first time in 6 months.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
6 months, man.
That was huge, man. So yeah, but he's back in my life. So life is like good, man. Life is perfect at the moment, you know.
So is that going to be more consistent now then?
Yeah. I mean, I've been Skyping him every night since. So yeah, she just came around. She came around. I don't know what it is. So that's really good news, and I'm gonna take it how it is. And, you know, that's that. Also got the 980 Ti back. It is in the system, the Air Boss. So it's funny, they sent me an upgraded version of the 980 Ti that I bricked.
What is it, like an overclocked version or something?
Yeah?
What is it, like an overclocked
version? It's like the special, like, overclocked Ultra Edition, so...
It's like their Kingpin?
Yeah.
It's like their Kingpin card, basically.
Well, I mean, it's basically I think they've got a model up above that, an Air version. So, an Air version that they've got that's one better. They've got an X3 and an X4. I got the X3 Ultra. Like, it's a lot better than the one I had before. So, it's kicking ass on Air, man. So, I mean, I will be putting the water cooler on it, I think.
You're gonna rip it off again? You're gonna put it back on again?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think that was it, though. I think it got bricked on the airplane. Like, I honestly think that because my MSI R9 had a broken fan fin.
I'm just saying, anything could have happened, though. Anything could have happened.
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't know. Just in the States, I had the water cooler on, dude, and I was getting unbelievable overclocks. Like, it was going sky high, man.
How's this, as far as...
Well, this is hitting 20K. Well, this is hitting about 20K on air in 3D Mark and on the graphics score.
But what's your overclock? What's your core hitting with boost?
Well, this is already pre-overclocked, and I've got another 110 megahertz on that. So this one's
what's the core hitting? So what's the core hitting though? Do you know what the core
about 1460 at the moment. So yeah, I mean that's on air, and the good thing about this air cooler is it's quiet. Like the other one would flare up, man. This one's pretty quiet. So I've got to give Inno3D some kudos there for actually making a pretty good air cooler on their higher end models. So yeah,
nice.
it's pretty good.
Are you gonna review that one too as a separate review?
Man, I don't know. Does anyone do? You guys want to see another 980 Ti? Let us know in the comments section. So I mean,
Another 980 Ti?
I'm like by this time I'm already over
Well,
it.
I'm sure I know. Well, just knowing the videos that you do, I think your viewers would appreciate it, at least just as a personal update to let you know you got it, to let them know that you got it back.
Yeah, true. I was gonna update on like fixing a CPU, taking paint off a memory stick. I might do like a vlog kind of.
There you go, man. Just throw it all together. The fucking
Yeah. Throw it all together in a mix. Yeah, mixed dish. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So your personal news, man. Yeah, you guys got to go on. I've been taking up all the time.
I don't really have any too much personal news. I'm pumped for Division this weekend, the beta for the Division, and Rise of the Tomb Raider tonight. Definitely pumped. We're gonna be talking about that on the show, so I'm just excited about that shit.
Okay. And Kevin, mate, what's your personal news?
Well, he's new, so this is his first news ever.
Yeah.
Well, have you got any new? We usually tell our tech pickups or any new games we got. So,
yeah.
If you got anything big going on,
anything big in the last week or two?
Yeah, well, I'm actually doing a collaboration with Playtech TV right now, so that's sort of a super secret video that we've been in the works with, and also just working with a few other different companies to bring a few things forward. But as far as any games or anything go, I just bought Rainbow Six Siege. I don't actually game as much as I think a lot of people think, because I'm actually, usually doing like tech reviews and other things that I don't do it that often as I'd like, I suppose. But yeah, Rainbow Six Siege. So I actually quite like it. But oh my goodness, is that game? It's like they released it when it's not even really ready, because I had a lot of problems. I put the tutorial video on my channel on how to actually get the game to launch, because I had to change a few things with my overclock, and then now when I try to play with my friends, it won't let you because of some error, and you have to go through and do like port forwarding, and I just think like, wow, if someone just wanted to sit down and just have a game that works, then that isn't the game for you at this stage.
Yeah, I was just actually reading an article about that on Ars Technica. It's a shame that they have had issues with their launch, because the actual game itself is amazing. The gameplay is so good, but they've been mired in issues since launch, and a lot of it's been just because of Ubisoft. Really, it's unfortunate that the developer is having to deal with Ubisoft as a publisher. So. They're just having them stuck in there, so that's a big reason they're having so many of their issues. Yeah, people are saying in chat, Ubi shit. Yep, everyone knows already. Ubi shit. That's the reason. You don't even have to ask. What's the reason? Ubisoft.
Yeah, fair enough. Lately, they've been getting a pretty bad track record. I mean, I think the focus is off EA definitely in 2015, 2016, and the focus is on Ubisoft.
Well, they have this good game here, and then they go ahead and they swamp it in things like microtransactions at launch, so it puts a bad taste in people's mouths before they've even played it, because they know, oh, well, I'm going to jump into this game and it's going to have microtransactions. They got season pass day one for all this content that, maybe I'm not going to have, other people are. It's not, it's even if you can unlock this stuff still, it leaves a bad reputation, I think, for a game.
Leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't even pick it up, don't even get a chance to play it. And I think it was really evident right after their launch that they were having bad sales, because they had a free weekend in like the first week. You never see that from a $60 AAA title. That doesn't happen unless something's wrong.
Well, something is wrong. So, do we want to get onto our first topic here, the Nvidia GeForce 360 1.75?
Well, yeah, that all actually goes right into Siege. That's why I was already talking about it, because it all goes into this. This driver came out today for Rise of the Tomb Raider and the beta for the Division. Now, that's the reason I called the episode "SLI Is Back," because they brought back a SLI for Rainbow Six Siege. That's been broken since patch 1.2. That's another issue it's had. Ubisoft had put out a patch for Siege that broke SLI on 1.2, and it's been broken for about a month now, but this driver today fixed it, so that was good to see come back. It got like double the performance. It was awesome. And then they're putting out SLI profiles already for Tomb Raider, getting ahead on that by a day, and also the Division. It's only in beta, and they've already got SLI profiles, so good driver, and I've had no issues so far with performance on it, testing it today.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You're back in business. So.
There you go. No gains, no losses really to report. Just except for Siege, they got the SLI back working. Obviously, that went back up, but that was good.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I got no problems with SLI because I don't have two graphics cards. So we got next up with the Nvidia 2014-2017 GPU roadmap. Now, after actually sort of brainstorming with this and thinking about it, it actually makes sense that they're going to go back to the typical release the $1,000 flagship first, because when you go into deep thought about the GTX 970 and 980, that was kind of a one-off, because you look at the 970, that was kind of like the 8800 GT, right? It was just that card that had the performance, and they dropped the price down, and it sold out a heap of cards, right, to a different market. Now, I don't think that market's going to be ready again to spend another $300, not for another year at least. So I think they're going to do cycles with their actual cycles of selling their graphics cards. So I don't think you'll see this generation. I think you'll see that old school, what they did with the GTX 7 series, where they'll release the Titan X2 first, then they'll trickle down and release different models out a bit later. So I think this actually looks like pretty reputable, and I think in April you will see their big flagship card being released. Whatever they want to call it, Titan X2. I mean, I think the Titan name's overdone now.
Yeah, they need to get rid of it. They need to bin the whole Titan. I mean, I also think they need to bin the whole 1080. The GTX. I think with this whole, I've been saying this for ages. Ever since they announced Pascals, I wanted to see them rebranded for this series, because they did that when they went from GT to GTX, because it was a massive architectural change, just like this. And 1080 sounds silly. It's confusing, because I'm gonna mix that up with like 1080p. Don't you think? That's gonna. I feel like that's gonna be getting thrown around with people talking about performance and resolutions, and it's gonna get really confusing.
Yeah, they need to make it ZTX. There we go.
But also, if you're buying a Pascal GPU to run 1080, then it's probably gonna be overkill, though, right?
Yeah, I mean 1080p. I mean, like, I don't know, man. I could run 1080p on the $100 PC.
Anything can run 1080 now, man. Consoles can almost do it, so that's how you know it's easy.
Yeah,
they can almost do it.
I mean, I kind of agree, and I see this thrown around a lot online, and people saying, like, you don't need this graphics card, such a high-end graphics card for 1080p. People said it as well, considering I play, and I use a 1080p display, and the fact that I have a R9 390 graphics card, and before that I had a 390X before it had trouble. And people saying, that's way too overkill for 1080p.
No, that's perfect.
But that's sort of like, it depends what you're doing. If you're just saying like, hey, I want to be playing at medium settings and everything, and just over 30 frames, then I could maybe understand it. And I've played 4K on a 970 with no worries at all on, say, medium settings in games. So, but at the same time, you wouldn't tell someone like, oh, all you need for 4K is a 970. It'll get you by. But if you're wanting a good experience, you're wanting to really crank those settings and the filters up and that, then things are generally a lot higher. And of course you want to be over 60 frames, so that way I think it's better than if you're going much higher. So for the 1080p range, I think 390, 970 is really good, and then when you go up from there, like 1440p is probably 980, 390X, maybe Fury territory, and then of course when you go up to 4K, you're gonna need some serious horsepower there. So it's sort of like Fury X 980 Ti type territory. If you're going for 60 frames, maxing out settings and stuff like that, that's how I view it.
That's the thing. I don't really max. I don't go to max out settings. I just think there's no like value there in maxing out settings. Like, that's why I've always been a firm believer in 980 Ti is pretty good for 4K. Like, I've been having no problems running all my games at 4K just with tweaking settings, dropping textures down from ultra to high, dropping. You don't even need to have AA up on 4K because it's just really beautiful, even with SMA.
I just finished testing my system at 4K against the ultra wide. I wouldn't even run my two 980 Ti's at 4K yet. I don't think it's enough.
Because you're putting on like what 8-speed freaking MSAA or what?
No. If I was playing at 4K, I wouldn't put on 8 times MSAA. No, I would drop it down.
What games? What games are you playing though?
Siege.
Well, for me,
Siege,
honestly,
Witcher. For instance, Witcher 3. If I wanted to play it the way I want to play, I mean, anti-aliasing in that game is really not a contributing factor, and even if you turn it off, it's only going to get you like 1 frame. But if I wanted to play that game at 4K the way I want to play it, with everything turned up, modded, hair worked, all that stuff turned up at 4K, it's not going to run at 60 frames even on my system. And I wouldn't play it like that. That's me. But I know that's not for everyone. I know for some people they're like, no, this is fine. What are you talking about? You're crazy.
Yeah, I'll drop it down to medium, bro.
Like, what are you talking about? This is like 50 FPS most of the time. This is fine. I was like, no, not really.
I'll represent, man. I'll represent.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting because a lot of like, the tech guys, we put like a lot of emphasis on 60 frames per second, but then when you talk to just friends and that just play games and stuff like that, and you see them playing a game at say 30 frames a second or something, and you say, oh, doesn't that feel strange to you? And they'll say, no, it's like they don't even really. Some people don't actually notice, which it sounds funny for us to say that because of course we would, but
the majority of my friends don't even know.
Don't.
Well, my brother is playing Destiny at 30 frames per second. I started watching him play. I was like, dude, how do you play that? It's like, oh, it's awesome.
I have two friends that are absolute nutters like me as for performance and stuff like that. The rest of my friends, a new game comes out and they test it on their system. I'm curious. I'm like, oh, what frame are you getting? Like, I don't know. It's playing. It's fine. I'm just like, what frame are you getting? What settings? He's like, I don't know. I just turned it on and it's playing. It's fine. What do you care?
Yeah.
It's like because I just want to know. I need to know. You gotta tell
me. we got anything more to add on the Pascal rumors? So I mean, like we all agree that this is kind of looks like a pretty accurate article, right?
Well, yeah, I was happy to see it to finally get a little bit more of an accurate roadmap because we've just been talking about we know Pascal's coming this year. It looks like, but now we got a better idea. And you were saying before I wanted to say something. You were talking, Brian. You were saying you wanted to see the Titan go. You were talking about why you thought the Titan was coming first.
Yeah.
I was thinking that they probably do it because they want, like with the Titan X, if you think about it, if the Titan X had came out after the 980 Ti, no one would have bought it.
Yeah, exactly right. But
you got to put this out first, and then.
Well, the thing was the 980 and the 970 did come out before the Titan X, though. So.
True.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, that was like but that was like the second Titan in Maxwell, though. You have to remember they did it twice with that. They like double dipped on that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was a smart move, but I don't think we're going to see it again this time because the fact that a lot of people who bought the 970 just aren't willing to pay another $300. I think it's targeted at a different target market. With the Titan X, it's like, all right, guys, who's got money?
Oh yeah,
to blow?
well, when this comes out though at $1,000, I know there's a lot of people.
Rich?
There's going to be a lot of people that are going to jump the gun on that. Personally, I'm going to wait. And,
I'm waiting
and see what happens is because even when the 1080 comes out, there's probably not much reason for me to upgrade until 1080 Ti, really. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't. I think with the Titan X, that was such a you hit the nail on the head. When that came out, I tested it. It was very impressive. But then by the time the 980 Ti had come out, it was obsolete. Basically it was obsolete. So I think that's what they're going to do. Leave this big gap. But I also think that what will be most interesting with these new Nvidia graphics cards will be like the die shrink in that and the new architecture will be cool. But I think what's interesting to me is what memory what are they going to be going to HBM2? Are they going to go to the new GDDR memory? Like, where is Nvidia going to go? Because from my knowledge, I always thought that because AMD had done so much in terms of the development with HBM that Nvidia would be having problems getting their hands on it or something like that. So I'll be interested to see which way they decide to go with it. I think probably HBM would probably be the better idea, judging by how good the Furies were, and just the memory bus width is just extraordinary on those Fury X's. So it'd be good to see a Nvidia card maybe with technology like that on board.
Yeah, well, they got memory compression as opposed to Fury X, so they don't need as large of a memory bus as the Fury X does need. So it'd be interesting to see because apparently they're doing memory compression too with their next generation of graphics cards, AMD. So that'll be good to see what they come out with.
Yeah,
that's okay. Yeah, I just think that like whenever I do testing on the different graphics cards, and this might be to do with the memory compression, but it might be something completely different. But every time I test it across the board, as you go up through the resolutions, my God, does the Nvidia cards, they taper off so much more as you go up through the resolutions, where the AMD cards always seem to hold their own really well as you go up. Even with quite a few of the smaller ones, when I did my testing with the 380X versus the 970, and that was just recent, the 380X got wasted by the 970 at 1080p. But once you started bringing that up to 4K, the difference between them was actually starting to shorten to the point in some of my tests where there actually wasn't that much in it, really. And that's something I've found across the board when I did all the 390, 390X testing, all that stuff.
It is true, yeah.
As it goes up, it always seems to. So I don't know if that's something to do with the Nvidia cards, say the 970, 980 having a 256-bit bus, as opposed to 390 and 390.
It would have to do with that. Yeah, that would be like a lot of it.
It's like they can't flow enough through it because of that reason. So I think
it's just that it's more VRAM intensive. Like you're using up a lot more VRAM, you're utilizing a lot more of it. So basically, that bus is so much more important as you go up to 1440p and 4K. So that would be that'd be a huge factor as to why AMD starts to perform a little bit better in contrast to Nvidia as you move up to 1440p and 4K. I think the devil of it all, the devil's in the details, is basically what are you testing? For me, I always test video games on either ultra or like whatever. I'll test a heap of settings for what's giving me a decent amount of frame rates. For instance, I won't just go to 1440p and put 8-speed MSA on. And when I see someone benchmark like that, I'm questioning them. I'm like, why would you do that? And then you're posting 19 frames per second. Oh, hey, AMD's beating Nvidia or vice versa. At 1080p, you've just got no MSAA at all. You got to look at the benchmarks and see what the test is actually testing. For me, I always test a blend. I always say, look, this is a good gaming experience. I'm going to test at these settings for this given resolution. And I think that's what makes a lot of different benchmarkers differ, in that some people will just don't care. They just go, all right, we're going to get 1440p max anti-aliasing. And it's like, why are you doing that? So I think, if you, especially if you go to 1440p and you go to 4K, I've noticed this. If you max all the anti-aliasing options, AMD start to pull ahead by quite a lot. So it's something you got to, but for me, it's like unrealistic on both scenarios, though. I wouldn't play games with this amount of anti-aliasing at this given resolution. So, that's just an example. So, AMD, when things start to get more VRAM intensive or start to utilize more VRAM, the AMD cards do start to pull ahead, especially at higher resolutions. They start to get more efficient, so to speak. That's that. But we should move on to the next topic, unless you guys got anything more to add on that?
No, I'm pretty much talked out on the GPU roadmap, man. I wanted to bring this up because I was surprised you didn't link this to me, man. Because I saw this, I was like, oh my god, Cannonlake, Icelake, Tigerlake. They need to. They need to. I don't know. They need to hire a marketing firm to do their fucking naming.
Yeah, I was thinking, what next? Hyena Lake? That'd be actually pretty cool. They should actually do Hyena Lake instead of Tigerlake, because let's be honest here, Intel are a bunch of hyenas, So basically what they're saying here is basically with Cannonlake, that's going to be released later this year. Then they've got Cannonlake, which is dropping down to 10 nanometer. That's going to release in Q2 2017. So I kind of doubt this because they've had so much problems with 14 nanometer. I kind of am wondering what they're going to do with 10 nanometer, because on the GPU front, it's kind of a different story, right? The clocks aren't as high as they are on CPUs. Like, CPUs are monsters, man. So I can foresee Intel. What do you laugh? What's up? What's funny?
No, I was just thinking about the naming on all of these series that they keep.
Oh yeah.
I was imagining, like, in my head how Intel came up with this, and I just imagined them, sitting back laughing one weekend about how bad AMD is doing. They've got so much time on their hands. They're just like hanging out in the mountains, like getting stoned, trying to come up with like names for the next Intel chipsets. And it's like, dude, how many names can we put in front of the word lake? Something like that. That's basically that's what I'm thinking about. You guys are having conversations. That's what I'm thinking about. So you asked. You asked. That's what I'm thinking about.
I know. I'm just trying to.
My imagination is running wild about how these names have come up. But you continue.
Yeah, I was just reading the news. I just hear this little giggle, like.
I'm looking at the chat too. The chat's being funny. The chat. It's the chat.
Fair enough.
I'm reading the chat, man.
All right. So after that, we've
Dragon Lake is next.
Yeah, so we got after that, right? After the 2017, we got 2018, which they're going to launch Icelake, and then 2019 they're going to launch Tigerlake, and then apparently in 2020 we're going to get a 7 nanometer node. So Interesting to see what Intel is going to do. I foresee problems, especially them dropping down to 10 nanometers. So I mean, the architectures there look legit, but it looks like they're going to do 3 architectures on 10 nanometer, which is crazy. 3 different architectures, right?
Yeah. Well, what happened to the TikTok then?
Yeah, three. Three on the 10 nanometer.
Well, it makes sense, right? We had Broadwell, Skylake, and then we had now we're going to have Cannonlake as well. So this seems to be their new trend because I guess they're foreseeing problems shrinking as well. So I guess it's not a TikTok anymore; it's a tech talk.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be quite cool, but right now I think it's quite. When I look at the market, just about Intel CPUs, the current ones. I think it's quite sad in a lot of ways because of their death grip they have on the market, and it means that they can almost charge whatever they like for their products, and the performance jump between. I know there's all the chipset upgrades with Skylake and all those good things that they brought to the table, so that was great. But if you just look at the actual CPUs themselves, the actual jumps between them have been marginal at best. And I've just never. I think I wish there was a bit more competition there to give them the kick up the backside they need to really hey, this is new. This is instead of just making it more about all the new chipset upgrades, which is, as I said, are great.
Hey,
but making the CPUs better.
Sorry to cut you off. I got to step away for 1 second. This was expected, Brian, but I thought it would be at 5:30. So just do this topic. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry
about that. Sorry about that, Kevin. Go ahead.
So that's good.
Yeah. No. That's just all I had to say. I just wish there was. Every time I go to test these new Intel CPUs, it's just something that always hits me.
Yeah.
I mean, you notice it as well. Every time it's sort of, it is an upgrade. I'm not saying it's not.
The good thing is, the really good thing about this is that we're getting in, you look at DX12, for example, we're seeing more software-based side optimizations. And so this is a good thing for people like me now lately, where I've been secondhand hunting for CPUs and stuff. And you can pick up a, LGA 1156 CPU for so cheap. I just ordered in a Xeon, which is going to come in for the secondhand build. I ordered that for $40, and that's 8 threads. That's essentially an i7.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at the value you're getting there, man. This thing is I'm going to be overclocking it and testing it out, but I already know from experience it's going to do pretty well because I had the X5650 in, and when I had that to 4 gigahertz, I tested it in Armor 3. And it was doing really well. It was a really solid CPU for the money. And I mean, even someone scaling up to a GTX 980 or something would be home and hosed with an X5650. And so I think if they're going to be this slow with their CPU architectural improvements, what we're going to see is a lot of people just not upgrading. They're going to be well, I don't need to upgrade. Of course, there's going to be people out there who just make a lot of good discretionary income, and they're gonna be well, I just want to upgrade anyway. That's called the upgrader's itch. That's real, But I mean, it's good for. I guess it's a good thing for the people like me lately with the second-hand parts. It's actually really fun. Extracting more value. So
I definitely get where you're coming from, and I haven't upgraded. I'm still on Haswell. I got a 4770K, and I mean, it runs super hot, as they were notorious for before Devil's Canyon. But I just haven't seen that much of a need. However, those people that are coming from something else, say like my girlfriend, for example, when we did her Skylake build, that was because she was coming from an FX 8320. So on an FM3 motherboard. So
AM3 plus.
AM3. Sorry. So that was actually a really decent upgrade, and I benched it before because she was running the same graphics card, just a R9 290, and so we benched it with the AMD build when she had that, and then after we went back to Skylake, and that was an enormous jump there. So. I definitely see the appeal for other things out there, and as well, I just told her it's a good time. It's DDR4. there's a bunch of new upgrades, and the motherboards coming out with these new Skylake processors were really quite interesting and cool. So I said, if you're going to upgrade, now would be the time, I think. And that's what I said to a lot of people. If you say back on Sandy Bridge or something, you've been like thinking, oh, which upgrade should I go for? Yeah. This is the one I would say, which would give you the best upgrade in the whole sense of the word, and that you get the chipset upgrade.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, if it's an extra few, like if it's an extra $50 or whatnot, an extra $100, why not? It depends though. Like I'd really go for like I've been stressing this to a lot of people on like looking for the best value would be the 1231 V3 and a B85. That for me was like that.
You got to do that build, man. You got to do that build.
Well, I already did that build, man.
Oh wait, is this the Oh, I thought you were talking about the Xeon. Is that the Xeon or no?
Oh, no, I'm getting the Xeon chip in like today or tomorrow, and then I'm going to finish off the second-hand build. But I'm talking about the actual, if you're going new, you should go with the 1231 V3 and a B85. Hands down the best value for money out there. Yeah. I mean, I got that CPU, and my jaw dropped, man. Like, the performance in games, like, it was handling whatever GPU, the GTX 970 or whatever GPU I had at the time. No difference between this, the 5820K, or my overclocked CPU. The power consumption was extremely low on that thing, and then productivity was insane as well. So it was just like it hit all freaking bases, man. That CPU was just a boss, especially the price. It was lower than whatever was out. Price was lower than an i7, much lower. So, and you didn't have that onboard iGPU crap that I didn't use anyway. So yeah, so Intel, what are we going here? Next article, Intel ships faster clocked Skylakes. Do we want to talk about this? This was kind of integrating in with this. They're putting out a couple new SKUs here on the Skylake. It looks like a little higher clock speeds here, and some Xeon chips as well. So just wanted to throw it in there as I mentioned, kind of going with the other ones as well. So it was all kind of tied together. Well, it looks like laptop chips. It's like I've got no interest in laptops, man.
All right, well, let's
we've got a 6970 HQ, right? It's their hyper-threaded laptop chip, 2.8 gigahertz.
Don't blame me. Blame awesome hardware. Okay, it's their fault.
Well, I mean, it's just like basically we're going to get a new Xeon SKU in the laptop division, which I mean is good if you're one of those people who are. I mean, it's not good at all, really, unless you're a uni student, right? I'll give it to you, uni student, or you are mobile all the time.
I'm trying to find a good workstation laptop myself. I'm trying to find something that's 1440 though, but everything seems to be 1080 or 4K. So,
honestly, man, if I was maneuvering, I'd still grab a mini ITX because I mean, everywhere I go nowadays, there's a monitor or a TV. So all I need is a mouse, keyboard, and a little mini ITX rig, and I can just.
I would literally want to be able to pop up and just be gaming on like a G-Sync display.
You're gonna be like grabbing your little finger on the touchpad. You know how like I can't stand.
No, you bring a mouse. You bring a mouse, mate.
Well, there you go. If you're gonna bring a mouse, you also just bring the mini ITX rig too.
No, that does not make sense at all. You just
that's a bit more of a jump.
That doesn't balance itself out, man. You can't. Sit there and tell me that it's okay bringing an entire PC versus a mouse.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna make you eat your words in a few weeks. I'm actually gonna go down to the junk store. I'm gonna buy this project that I'm thinking of doing, and I'm gonna show you what you can do instead of a laptop. I'm gonna do that. It's a project I was thinking about. You just gave me the motivation to go.
Are you gonna build like one of the old compact 386s with the built-in screens?
Kind of.
No. Yeah.
I mean, this is
the old PCs with it was basically they were basically PCs with an LCD on the side, and they weren't good LCDs. They were like calculator screens.
Yeah, you see this, brother? You know what I'm capable of?
Yeah, that's not a T-shirt. That's an accurate representation of the graphics you'll be getting on this PC.
Yeah, you see what I'm capable of.
That's why it's 8-bit.
That's it.
All right.
Brother.
So anyway, next topic. This is something I wanted to touch on quickly because it's important.
I want to touch on it too, man.
This is awesome, man. Because finally, Skype is blocking people's IP addresses.
Skype is actually becoming normal. I mean,
so in case for just regular users of Skype, this probably doesn't really concern you. But this is a big reason that a lot of people get DDoSed, especially like YouTubers, streamers. They get DDoSed because they'll either trick someone or they'll befriend someone and get added to their Skype, and then they can get their IP address. So now they are finally going to be blocking your IP addresses by default. This is actually one of the big reasons that Jay's 2 cents had issues, why he was getting DDoSed at one point. I don't have any reason to believe it's the reason he got hacked recently when his channel went down for that day. But you never know. It could very well be the same guy.
I mean, I know Tech It Tomorrow.
It's just saying that this happens. This happens because of Skype.
Yeah, I know Tech It Tomorrow. I remember watching him on a live stream and it was bang, bang.
I just got DDoS. I forgot to say that on personal. I just got my first ever DDoS the other day, guys. Yeah. It wasn't actually.
Congratulations, man.
I didn't do anything. It wasn't anything of my fault. Like first, like people were saying, like, "Oh, you're getting DDoS because of who you are." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, no one knows who the fuck I am. It was because of my brother who was talking he said it was his friend talking trash on Xbox Live to the wrong person, and they said he was a hacker, and they DDoSed us. I was like, I don't know. Whatever.
What? But anyway, the good news is Skype is finally going to be blocking IPs. What I would like to see them do is also IP log as well for the personal accounts. So that's one thing. Like if I go to show places on my Skype, it says I'm signed in from 2 places at the moment. And I'm like, I'm only signed in from my computer. And then I do remote logout. And it still says I'm signed in. So I want to know where this IP address is that the other device is signed in from. And I know I can do that on Gmail. I can do that with Gmail. I can do that with...
Can you not go in and log out all accounts?
Yeah, you can. I already did that. It's still, the Android device is still logged in. So I don't know what it is with Skype. I don't know if it's buggy or whatnot. But yeah, they got to I'd love to know the IP address of that other device. You know what I mean? Just to make sure that if it's in Japan, it'll be like, all right, well, cool. It's probably just something buggy. But if it's someone in Afghanistan or something, with my IP address, it'll be like, okay, what's this guy doing? So.
What you playing at, mate? What you playing?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They try to hack me or something. Get my coin, get my $10 in PayPal.
So yeah, I wanted to bring this up because it was important to me and. I don't know. I thought it was relevant, and I was excited to see this. Yeah, it's good stuff. But this is actually on topic with your shirt that we were just talking about, Mighty Number 9, which is sort of like Mega Man, basically a rip-off of Mega Man. Got delayed again. Not by too long. I think it's only set back to September 15th. So it's still coming out this year, but it's being pushed back. As long as it's okay, man. I'm fine with it. Put out the game in the best state that it can be in, and I'll be happy.
Well, I mean, Kevin, do you play much Mega Man? Or have you played much Mega Man?
Nah.
What?
I'm actually I'm actually quite different from most people in the sense that I didn't play a lot of the sort of classic games. I didn't actually start gaming until I was doing sort of console gaming because I was never allowed a console at all. So I basically missed out on every console game, and up until I don't know, about 2004, I think, when I got my first console was the original Xbox. So that was my first console I ever actually had. So,
okay, well, after this stream, after we stop this stream, you're going to go jump in your car. You're going to go trading posts. Who's selling a Nintendo Entertainment System with Mega Man 3? And you're going to go get the two of those.
I know what they are.
And you're gonna go get the both of those, and then you're going to come back and you'd be like, oh, I can't wait for Mighty Number 9. Because this game's going to be pretty good. From what I see, the graphics is going to be good. It's going to be based on the similar thing like Mega Man. I mean, he's just a rip-off Mega Man. But, you've got all the bosses there. If you look at this picture, that's pretty much a representation of kind of like the old-school Mega Man. And it looks so good. You're going to, he's going to absorb the powers, upgrade, and then he's going to fight the main antagonist. So I can't wait for this game personally. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I haven't broken a peripheral over a difficult video game in a while, and it's been a long time coming. So I'm looking forward to that Mighty Number 9 finally. Well, I need a good game that'll make me want to take my mouse and hurl it across the room.
Well, if you go back and play the Mega Mans on the Nintendo, they were legitimately hard. I mean,
dude, why do you think I'm talking about this? Do you have any idea how many NES controllers I shattered?
Well, for me, Battletoads definitely did that. The Battletoads on the... I remember one of the controllers got thrown across the room on that game. That was really hard.
But see, NES controllers were great for throwing, man, because they were really solid, they were thick, they had those square edges, so they could really take a beating,
They could.
Yeah. And when you threw it at someone, that hurt. So
That was back when stuff was made, right? Yeah.
Well, see, and now they make all this shit for like kids with like the PlayStation, Xbox controller with the rounded edges and all that. Who wants that? Give me something not so safe. I want something I could possibly lose my eyesight on, please. That's
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm pumped up for this though. The next the gaming one we had here is Mutants in Manhattan, man. Ninja Turtles, finally a good game coming from Platinum Studios. These guys, they've worked on Bayonetta. They did the recent Transformers Devastation, so they are known for doing these sort of beat 'em ups, and also with Transformers Devastation being able to take already existing IP and then apply it into their formula and do it justice. And I'm looking forward to this shit because it looks good. Loving the art style on it. Loving the combat, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just another nostalgic game coming back, right? I mean, when I think Turtles, I think, SNES, NES, those beat 'em up, they were epic, right?
Oh, yeah, the side scrollers, the 4 players at the arcade, man. Those were great.
I mean, looking at this looks really good. I mean, Kevin, have you played, have you followed TMNT?
I was going to say, he probably is the old games, probably not.
No. I used to watch the cartoon series though that was on TV when I was a bit younger, and that was actually really good to watch. I actually quite enjoyed it. But no, I haven't played any of the games.
Oh,
yeah,
damn,
I was thinking about that when I saw this, because after I saw it, I went and listened to the old Ninja Turtles cartoon theme song. Here was in a half shell.
Yeah.
And it was like making me think. I was like, yeah, for like back then during that time period, for me at least, it was Ninja Turtles, it was Ghostbusters. That was it.
Ghostbusters was epic on the NES, man.
I'm just saying licenses, just film and TV licenses as a kid growing up that I'm nostalgic for. It'd be Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters. That's it, big time. Those two.
Yeah, well, you got Kevin. You seriously got to look at the trading post, man, after this episode, and go grab Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The old Ninja Turtles 2 on the NES, man. The swimming level with Leonardo. Remember with the electric jellyfish? Oh my god! Oh my god! That will make you want to kill someone.
Well, I just remember like hanging out for a pizza. Like you're like on the edge. You're like, oh, please be a pizza, please. And then you just get that pizza. You're like, yeah, I'm good for another 5 minutes until I die.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if they've confirmed it yet. But the big thing I want in this is 4-player co-op. That's what I want.
I'd want 2-player. Like 2-player is nostalgic.
Hey,
I definitely want 2-player.
Any level of co-op will be welcomed. Yeah. Obviously, 4 makes sense with 4 turtles, but yeah, any level of co-op would be welcomed by me, so I could play with my friends.
I wouldn't be too pissed though if it just had 2 though, because that's how I'm used to playing Turtles.
No, but it would be weird. It would be weird with 4 turtles.
Yeah, 4-man would be awesome if you jump online with other people. That'd be wicked. Like just like matchmaking or whatever, let's
and also I'm glad to see like the art style, like if the Foot Clan soldiers look like they did back in the 90s. Also happy to see like Bebop and Rocksteady, Krang. Like how long has it been since we've seen Krang in something? Forever.
Yeah, we need Krang back, man.
I've been waiting to see Krang come back for ages, man. Every time there's a new Ninja Turtles film that comes out, people say like, does it have Krang? Does it have Bebop and Rocksteady? The new movie does have Bebop and Rocksteady, actually, so that looks sweet. But everyone's always like, does it have Krang? Does it have Krang? So finally, Krang confirmed.
Krang confirmed, that's it, man.
Krang confirmed in 2016.
We don't need Half-Life 3 anymore.
Krang.
Forget about that. Yeah, we just need Krang confirmed. Yep. Okay. So do we want to move on to the next topic here? Sony creates a new company to run everything PlayStation. Now, this is pretty funny because what did we hear rumors about? There wasn't going to be another gen of like console. I think this is the end of the consoles or something. Like then like I said, no way. Like the PS4, you look at how well it launched. It's like there's no way there's not going to be another generation of consoles. I mean, right, we're PC, but that doesn't stop me from admitting how successful the PS4 is. And now Sony's taken it a step, they're taking another further step, and they're making their own company dedicated towards just consoles. So this is pretty if you're a console fanboy, this is pretty good news. Because if you're a console fanboy, you're most likely a PlayStation 4 fanboy. So yeah, you're going to be getting a dedicated division. I mean, hopefully they step it up with their next iteration of consoles and they put a lot better hardware in there. That's one request I've got for the next generation of consoles. As much
they're building to a budget, remember, so that's the other thing. But I mean, a lot of people ask me this question because of obviously being a tech reviewer, and my answer I give them, I guess, is a bit out of the norm. And they say, well, what do you think of console peasants and all that carry on? And I say, of course, I understand all the arguments. You can build a console killer PC that does everything else and does it better. You can do all that for, the same price or cheaper. I understand that, and I totally agree with you. But there are people out there that just don't care about that. Exactly, they just want to play the game, and then all they'll do is see, hey, like this PS4 is however many dollars it is. Yeah. I buy it, I bring it home, I plug it in, and I put my game in it. And then after it's downloaded a patch for like 3 hours, and then I can play it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's for more a casual gamer or someone who wants exclusives. I'd say those definitely are two arguments going for console. Oh,
for sure. The exclusives are like the only reason I own a PS4.
Well, me too. I'm waiting for. I was going to get Destiny, but I never I watched my brother play it, and I'm like, I do not have the time for this. No way. Like between everything else I do in life. There is no way I can fit another MMO in. So, I just said, look, I saw the HD remake for Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, damn, all right, I'm going to hold... Because I've got these money cards for the PlayStation 4. They're sitting here in my house. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go burn them on the HD remake for Final Fantasy VII, because that's something I know I will definitely be getting, and I'll just be playing that, day and night. So, I can't wait for the HD remake of FF7, the reboot. That'll be amazing. But yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, the PS4, I can understand why it's so successful. And especially it's funny because we had that. Did you put that news in about the Xbox One selling 99 units in Japan last week?
No, I didn't really think. Oh, okay. I didn't really think. Oh,
it was really funny, man, because that's the story of the Xbox One in Japan. They just waited too long to release it. They released.
Oh yeah, I remember when it
console
when it came out. When it came out, there was a lot of there was news stories joking, and they showed the lines. I can't really call it a line. It was really just a rope, and there was one guy standing next to it. I was like, I don't even know why you've sectioned this off. There's one guy. It's like they've had to section him off, make sure he doesn't, rush the crowd or anything. No, we don't want him getting hurt. Stand back, everyone. Stand back. I mean, there's enough Xbox Ones for everyone.
When the Xbox One launched, I think it couldn't have been launched any worse. I've seen a lot of product launches, but the amount of controversy, the way they launched it, the fact that you had to get it with the Kinect, I think it was, and the problems with sharing games. And then all the stuff, it just went on, and I just thought, wow, this console is just going to absolutely bomb if this is the launch has been so spectacularly bad. I've never seen it so bad, and Sony just did fantastic by comparison. So then, the fact that the PS4 is selling way more than the Xbox, but I think that the fact that it's in Japan is the other thing. Of course, Japanese people are going to buy the PlayStation over the Xbox. I think that's a given as well. So
yeah,
maybe if this was in a Western country, then maybe I think that would probably it's still going to be in favor of the PlayStation. That's for sure. But it's probably not going to be that bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the thing Microsoft has learned from this, especially, is that social media nowadays, it's important. So I mean, before that came out, I think they didn't realize the impact that social media would have played on their.
I don't think. Well, it seemed to me when that console launched, whoever was in charge of market research should have been fired because they had. It seemed like they didn't have a grasp at all on what gamers actually wanted, or it actually seemed like maybe they actually didn't even care what gamers wanted. It seemed like they wanted to appeal to such a different audience. I think. It felt like, to me at least, that they had saw what Nintendo had did with the original Wii and how successful that was, because it came out of nowhere for these doing something different. I think they wanted to be different, and I thought they really thought they could be this thing that was going to replace the cable box in the living room and be this everything platform. Is why don't you worry about at least being able to run games first?
Yeah, but at the time of the Wii, social media wasn't that big. So I mean, if you make a mistake now, then the enemy is going to play up on that. You know what I mean? Because I remember when Xbox was they made the mistakes that they did before launch, Sony was coming in straight after being like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And it's like Sony looking like Gaben, and then, Microsoft just looking like Microsoft. So Yeah, it really wasn't. So I don't know.
It seemed like Sony was the only one who knew anything, that had their finger on the pulse of what was going on, and like was paying attention to, like you said, social media.
Yeah. So exactly right. So in this episode, I mean, it can be heaven or it can be a wrecking ball, and that's what Microsoft. I guess the big lesson they have to take out of that is that social media is really important. So.
And when they start talking about the next consoles, I hope that the first and only thing they talk about is the games. That's what we want to know about, is the games.
Yeah, exactly. So
are the games that we already know and love, and the new games that are going to be coming that are going to make us want to own the hardware.
Yeah. Okay, well, do we want to move on to this next topic? Asus becomes big in the gaming monitor market. Now, I read this article. It's like, just managing to hold a total of 40%. So, like, I'm trying to see more on the research here. It's just like it's an article just saying, okay, they got 40%. How do you say that this person's got a gaming monitor as opposed to a normal monitor? Because I've got like 6 monitors here at my house, and none of them are Asus. So, I mean, what about you guys? How many Asus monitors do you have at your house?
I run an Asus monitor, and but my girlfriend runs AOC.
Okay.
So, yeah.
My test rig has two Asus monitors.
Yeah. But how many other monitors do you have?
How many other monitors do I own in total?
Yeah. Like, how many monitors did you buy in 2015?
Oh, 2.
Okay.
Well, not counting the 3 ROG Swifts I sent back.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it seems like a big number, especially when there's Acer out there, BenQ. There's LG's hitting the market. There's just so many other monitor manufacturers out there. I'm wondering what they classify as a gaming monitor. Because I'm pretty sure every monitor that sits in front of your desk is capable of gaming. Especially if I pulled up just for you guys the Japanese statistics of the top 20 monitors sold. Asus only has 1 monitor on that top 20, and it's number 4. So how does that?
But it's only Japan though, man. Like the rest of the, list is not even close to being relevant to the rest of the
Yeah,
market.
but I mean, surely 40%, they'd have a much bigger impact, right? You'd think they'd have a few more models on the top 20, right? You'd see like a 1080p version, a 14, like they've only got the ROG Swift up on here, which
not if they only have a few select monitors in the market in Japan. They may have. They might not have as many models available in Japan as they do with the rest of the world.
I mean, I'm just calling this article fairly shady. That's all.
I think where it's coming from is the word gaming. I think the fact that they say they have it on the gaming monitor market, not on the market in general. They can say that this isn't considered gaming. They could say that, these different competitors ones. They could say, oh no, it's not 100% for gaming.
They've thrown in like this. They've thrown in like a snake oil term so that they can apply it to pretty much anything and adjust the rules accordingly to the way they want it to be.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at the original DigiTimes article. It's very vague. It's just according to sources. Okay, so where are the sources? Like, so I mean, I'm gonna call like BS on this article until like I can see actual proper numbers and research data. But
I don't know where they would have gotten it from either, because if I look at, say, what's being sold at a retailer in New Zealand, for example, playtech.co.nz, when I look through what they sell, there doesn't seem like 40% of them are Asus. I'd actually say probably only 5 or 10%. It seems mainly dominated by BenQ, which is it makes sense, but also AOC.
Yeah, AOC are huge down under. Yeah, man. Like I got my mum an AOC monitor. They were really good value for money. Like I've been recommending down under in Australia, like AOC monitors, because they're great value for money. So I'm kind of wondering where this 40% comes from, because in my opinion, practically everyone with a PC and a desktop monitor is a gamer. Like I'd classify that as a gaming monitor. I mean, yeah.
I mean, for me, gaming monitor comes down to low response time. I mean, 5 ms and lower, that's really where I start to say, okay, it's a gaming monitor probably. Unless it's, I don't know. But then I mean, you have things like, I forget the exact model number. It's one of the Asus 1440s. It's like the PLS panel, which is made for graphic artists, but it's also a great gaming monitor. It's like the non G-Sync version of the Swift. But it's a PLS panel instead of TN, so it's actually good.
Yeah. I mean, if I was going to get a high-end 1440p monitor, I'd get the one that you've got, Joker, that XB Hue. You know, that's the shizzle. So
this is pretty much it right now. Well, I'd get the XB, the new one. I'd be curious to see that. I'm sure they just refine the panels or use the same ones and just put a better stand on it. So I'd go for that. But this is probably a better buy though.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but transition to next topic here. This is. Did you have something that you want to talk about? I thought you were transitioning there.
No. Yeah, I was transitioning too. I'm just wondering why we got TFT Central up here. What was the topic again?
Oh,
Infinity
this is
Edge?
No. If you scroll down a little bit, it should have gone down. It's like the third section here. It's update new panels coming this year.
Oh,
so
okay. Yep.
So they've got a list of a few panels actually coming here. So if you look at the Samsung one, actually, this is the most interesting one. Samsung has a 31.5 inch 2560 by 4.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the 32 by 9. What the hell?
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, okay, we'll get to that. But the first one on here, 31.5 inch panel, 25.6 by 1440, curved 144 hertz, coming out Q3 2016. That's interesting, I think.
Looks good. It looks good. I will say straight away with Samsung, every panel that's come out from their company has had a considerable amount of input lag, and it's something that I'd like to see Samsung get. Well,
they're going after gaming monitors.
Yeah,
the gaming
I mean,
market,
clearly
it's going to be SVA.
So. Well, clearly with 144 hertz, they would be going after gaming, and that's the thing. If they want to hit gaming with a high-end model monitor, they need low input lag, regardless.
Yeah, with SVA, I'm expecting 2 ms response time.
Like, I do not care what the casual gamer says. Oh man, 20 milliseconds, it doesn't matter. It does when you're making a high-end product, especially one with 144 hertz
at that resolution and to 31. It's going to be $1,000 monitor, like 800. And I don't know about you. I mean, I know you're losing some pixel density there, but I would be totally fine going from a 27 to a 32 inch. I think like 1440. I think 32 would still be perfect at this resolution for pixel density.
Ooh, I'd say be pushing it, man. I'd like to honestly.
I know it'd be pushing it, but
29. I think 29 would be better. Like
29. 29 would be good. 29 or 30, I'd be good on that. I mean, I would like a little bit of a bigger screen, but not too much. I don't want to lose pixel density. But.
Yeah, that's why I think 31.5. You may start to notice the pixels. Like I don't know. That'd be interesting to see, regardless. So.
Yeah, this other one here, though, interesting too, though, the 32 by 9 aspect ratio, 49 inch thing, man. That's crazy. And now they're mentioning in here that this could potentially not be a monitor, but Samsung listed it as a gaming monitor, listed it with their monitor, so. Or not gaming monitor, just monitors, sorry. So they've listed it with monitors for computers.
I mean, Kevin, you got anything you want us to talk about here, like in this article?
I mean, it's kind of I think what's going to happen with computer monitors is the same thing that happened to the smartphone market, in that they keep going bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's a point where people don't like that anymore. For smartphones, for example, there was the big Galaxy, the Galaxy Mega, I think it was called, but also probably the bigger flop was the Nexus 6. So that was a 6-inch or 5.9 or whatever it was, but it was too big and consumers didn't like it. And I think that some of the gaming monitors coming out are going to be the same thing, and that they're just going to be too massive and people start to sort of draw back.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I kind of see what you're saying, but at the same rate, I don't think it really would apply with a monitor necessarily, because with a phone, I mean, you're getting too big to the point where your hands literally can't reach across the screen, so it's not convenient anymore to use it as a handheld device. With something that sits on your desk or a display, I don't really feel it's as much of an issue anymore. The only part where size really starts to become a concern for me is pixel density. Am I going to actually start to see degradation in my picture because the screen is so big? That's my only concern.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like, I do think there's, like, for me, I do not want any bigger than 27 or 28 inches on my desk. Like, it's got to the point now where, honestly, I remember when I went on a holiday to England and I hadn't used my computer for 3 weeks, I came back and 24 inches was, like, massive to me.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you realize, seriously, it was a shock. I was like, wow, this monitor is actually really big. That was 24 inch. Now I'm on 27, 28. Like, for me, I noticed in video games, like, for instance, Dota, I think 24 inches is the best size if you're a Dota or a MOBA player, because you can see everything in your immediate field of view. Once you go to 28, 27, you start to lose focus of things.
See, now I'm sitting here perfectly well prepared for a 40-inch 4K screen that actually does G-Sync. Like, I've already got the 40-inch 4K screen here as my secondary, and I love it. And if I could have a gaming monitor like at that same size, I would definitely do it. That's like one of the, I want that more than ultra wide. I tried ultra wide already, and I wasn't sold on it. So when Pascal or an Nvidia GPU line catches up to the performance that I want with 4K, like it did with 1440 for me, then that's what I'm going to go for. Is I want a 40-inch 4K G-Sync over 60 hertz panel. That's my dream monitor next.
Well, for me, for me, 21 by 9, not interested in it at all. 32 by 9, not going to be interested in that at all as well. So, I mean, honestly, though, if it has a really thin bezel, I could imagine sticking 2 of them up on each other. So you'd have 32 by 18. That would be pretty cool.
The Frank P setup.
The random Frank P setup. That'd be pretty cool in 32 by 9.
He's officially, it's officially the random Frank P setup from now on, by the way.
Yeah. So that would be all right. I mean, I'd like to see that. But I mean, other than that, like, I have no desire to get a 21 by 9 monitor. I have, like, 16 by 9 is really good for just single, right in front of your face gaming. And I'm enjoying my games like no tomorrow, man.
Yeah, and they're talking about in here 8K by 4K.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
I mean, they got some ambition. Like, they're definitely very ambitious this year. Coming up in 2016.
31.5-inch 8K by 4K panel with an Adobe RGB color space. That would be a video editor's wet dream.
Well, that's where it's aimed at, right? That'd be some big bucks forking out for that monitor, but.
It's like, hey, Samsung, right here, man. Right here.
But I mean, like, this is the thing, though. If you're, like, top of the line wedding photographer, or you're, like, the ducks nuts of whatever profession you do, that monitor is nothing to you, right?
Dude,
10 grand, nothing,
8K by 4K, though, man. Imagine having a full 4K workspace, and that's just your workspace.
Yeah.
That's mental.
All right. So, you guys got anything more to add on that, or?
No, man. I just wanted to show this because they had some pretty interesting monitors.
Yeah, that's actually
yeah.
I was surprising how good this topic was. That's actually really awesome. Thanks for bringing that up.
You weren't expecting much.
I wasn't expecting that, man. You blew my mind away on the live stream.
You're like, what is this TFT shit? What is this?
Yeah.
Next. So our last topic today, I thought was going to be a good discussion because we've talked so much in 2015 about how much we thought AMD is going to flop. Now, this article makes the assertion. Now, it's an assertion, mind you. He makes a pretty good case. He provides some evidence for his arguments, but he is basically saying that by his math, AMD will not flop until at least 2019, based on how much money they have right now. He believes that they have more than enough money to stay afloat through the launch of Zen, but that they're probably going to be really scraping the bottom of the barrel, at least for marketing costs at that time. That's basically seems to be the summary takeaway from this, yeah?
Yeah, I will say before I get onto this, I will say TFT Central's not, like you said, TFT Central shit. TFT Central's like the best monitor.
No, that's not
site that I've read in my life.
That's not what I was trying to say. Monitor their monitor reviews are amazing.
Yeah, one does not use the word shit with TFT Central.
Sorry, that was not what I was implying there.
Yeah,
I was implying that you were saying the topic was shit.
Yeah, no.
So there you go. Anyway, so what do you think? What's your take on this? The AMD though.
We'll let Kevin. Like, what do you think, Kev?
So with AMD, like, I mean, sort of, I talk to people in the industry about it and all the rest of it. And what you forget is that what's keeping them afloat basically is the consoles, because of course, their deals they have with in terms of the Xbox and the PlayStation. That's what a lot of people forget. So the consoles are really keeping them alive in that side of thing. But what I really want to see out of AMD this year is not just getting back into the the desktop hardware market, because I mean their GPUs are still doing quite good. Like sales of the 390 and that are quite solid apparently. But they really need to get into the laptops, because I've tested a bunch of laptops lately and they all run the exact same thing. It's like a 6700 HQ and a 970M or a 980M or something like that. And the fact that it's always like Intel CPUs in the laptops and always NVIDIA graphics cards, that is where they need to hit. They need to make it so that there's now a Radeon alternative in the laptops, and their Zen or like a very power efficient CPU that can also be used. They don't need to go for everything. They can make it just for, say, the lower end laptops, or they could just go for something mid range. But they need to hit it somewhere, because that is where they're losing. They're like just completely getting destroyed.
In the enthusiast market, I would agree they are pretty strong in like consumer grade laptops, just like the kind of random thing you might see at Best Buy and pick up. They're fairly decent in that as far as that market is concerned, but obviously that's not the one we really talk about too much.
No, I mean gaming laptops, like specifically.
Yeah, it's all Intel Nvidia. It's all Intel Nvidia.
Yeah, so that's where they need to get it back.
Well, I mean, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you guys go ahead. I was going to say, like, basically with AMD, it's like, I mean, I've looked at the financials. They look pretty bad, right? They've been dropping on revenue, this and that. They do mention in this article cash flow, which is honestly a very important figure when you're looking at whether a company is going to survive or not. Now, their free cash flow fell from $94 million a year early to $21 million now. When your cash flow is dropping, that's an important figure for looking at if a company's going to go get liquidated or whatever, it's going to file for bankruptcy, because obviously they've got a massive amount of debt there, $2.26 billion. Now, I don't know what kind of debt or what kind of deal they've structured into, but I'm guessing it's somewhere along the lines of this company is junk rated, and that's the sad thing, right? This is in the public market. They're junk rated. They're paying high amounts of interest on that debt. So they've got to service, say, it might be $250 million a year in interest alone. Now, what happens is every year you have to pay, every month they've got to pay wages, expenses, rent, whatever. Now, if that cash flow, for instance, if they have a really bad month and they've got like a bad couple of months, say we've got 3 months that are just bad, they could go under. That's the possibility of bankruptcy. This is like, you can't say with certainty that AMD is going to last with 2019. I can't say with certainty that they're going to go bankrupt, but the current trajectory that they're on is really bad.
It's not good, but I agree with his. I think he's pretty much on the ball. I think they can make it through Zen. I'm sure they're going to make it through that at the very least. Otherwise, they'd probably cut tail now if they didn't think they could make it through that. Otherwise, why bleed money just to save face for another year? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Look, 2015
they must think they have a chance. Otherwise,
well, 2015 was supposed to be a decent year for AMD. 2015, they dropped 28% in revenue in 2015. That's a huge number. I think 2015, was worse than they think it was. So down 2016, obviously, Zen's coming out. The next series of graphics cards are coming out. The onus is on them to perform, like we said last week. If they don't perform in 2016, then I can see them possibly going under in 2017. It's a possibility, right? Companies just like, I'm telling you now, I've been watching stock market stuff. I don't touch stock markets because I had a big burn in 2008. But companies just one day they're fine, the next day they're filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And it happens, and it can happen. I'm saying it is a possibility with AMD. That's all I'm saying. When I look at the financials and what I've studied at university to do with financials, when you look at this company, there's a possibility that they could go bankrupt. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. The possibility is definitely there, but I also think that people forget that, if you're an Intel fanboy or whatever, and you think, oh, great, if AMD goes under, that's fantastic. It's like we won or whatever. I don't think a lot of the people realize how bad it would be for consumers if AMD was to go under completely.
Mind you,
they're the ones that lose the most.
That's the argument. That's the argument that a lot of people raise. That's a lot of. I guess younger people would raise. Oh yeah, I hope they go under, whatever. That's an argument. We as consumers, I'm pretty sure if they went under, I'd say someone like Samsung would pick up their GPU assets pretty quickly.
You know what I mean? Exactly what will happen.
I don't think we're in too much of a worry here. Like, oh my God, $1,000 750 Ti's, or I don't think you're going to see that, right? Because as I've said before, these companies like Intel and Nvidia, they would be competing with themselves due to the way the business is structured, right? They have to release products with gains. If I'm buying a graphics card, I want a considerable increase in performance. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep keeping my GTX 980 Ti. I'm not even going to bother. buying a new graphics card. So you've got that onus there where they've got to perform with themselves, and I think that's a huge factor nowadays. And I guess a lot of people just throw that out there about, we're going to be paying an exorbitant amount of money on top of our products that we're getting now. I don't think that's actually the case, because I mean, like, we're the consumers. We've got our wallets. We decide how much we pay. I mean, look at Skylake. I'd say arguably not many people have been buying Skylake. Because of the fact that it's just not like a lot. I know a lot of people on Sandy Bridge are still on Sandy Bridge. They're waiting for something legit to come out. They're waiting for something that's like, hey, 15% IPC improvement. Let's jump on this. And they haven't got that. All they've got is this slow trickle of 5%, 5%, 5%. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you got to. And when we looked at, we pulled up an article where motherboard shipments were down 10% 2015. So that's, all the facts point to that. Hey, these guys are now competing with themselves in ways.
Yeah. I definitely get that, but I also think that it's the company's not going to go away if people are worried about that happening. Like, say you own an AMD product, if they run out of money, they're not just going to be like, oh well, that's it, pack up, guys, it's all over.
You only need to be worried about that if you own stock in AMD, not if you're just buying their products.
Yeah.
If you own AMD stock, now is the time to run. I mean, what are you waiting for? Why are you still even holding on to that?
Like, it depends, right? I mean, I'm sure there's like people taking a gamble on it. Like, I told people a long time, like,
now would be the time to get in, man. I mean,
here we go. Like, I remember someone telling me the other week, like, oh, guy, AMD went up to $2.80, $3, man. Oh, why didn't I buy it? And it's like, it's down to it went down to $1.80 like a week ago. like, go buy your AMD stock. It's $1.80 again, man. The fact is, that's the stock market. Could have, would have, should have. That's why I do not. That's why I do not touch stocks, because they just. It's
gambling.
It's essentially like
it is more, or it's a more organized form of gambling.
I do not touch stocks because I haven't touched stocks since 2008 because
So I just wanted to say, if anyone does want to fire their questions to us, we're coming down to the end of our topics here. So Q&A, fire your questions in for us or Kevin. Also, just wanted to note, this is our biggest audience ever, man. We are 8 away from 200.
Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. Just get your friends in. Let's make this 200 live.
Get a few tweets out there. Let's see if we can hit 200 before the end of the show.
So, yeah, guys, if you got some questions, go ask Kevin for some questions. So,
all them tech Showdown fans. Come on, guys. We got to get this over 200.
We got to get it over 200, man. First time ever. Yeah. I don't know what do they think. Yeah, someone just mentioned in the chat this the fox picture. I don't know what the hell, why they used a fox. Is that is Zen a fox? He does look kind of. That fox does look to be in a state of Zen. I will say that. There you go. That's what he's looking. That is a piece. That is a fox at peace right there. That is a fox ready to take on anything.
Yeah, so guys, ask Kevin your questions. I got so Brian said that, and AMD stocks had gone up, but I mean, with stock markets, I've said this before, like, it's a gamble, man. I do not touch stocks personally. I touch currencies. I love currencies. I love trading currencies, but I do not touch stocks anymore. I mean, currencies, you're not going to see the kind of shocks that you'll see with stocks. Like, you will see shocks in currencies, but not on the major ones, like not the first world, like, main-backed currencies. Like, you won't see the United States dollar go from $1.20 AUD, whatever, like 70 cents AUD, all the way like down to 40 in a week. It just doesn't really happen. So that's why I play with currencies nowadays. I don't really touch stocks. But yeah, so with stock markets, you guys, if you want to buy stocks, then go for it. But it's one big gamble, and the dealer is making the profit. Just understand that. So Kevin, questions for Kevin. How do you feel? So you want to answer that one, man? Are you looking at
I saw one that said
Nanda Panda Tech.
Yeah. Do you find it challenging being a Kiwi YouTuber in terms of interacting with suppliers and stuff? So that's kind of yes and no. So I've been very lucky in that Playtech, if you're a New Zealander, you'll probably know that company for sure, was has been very, very good to me. They picked me up early on when I was just sort of growing. They saw that they do that with a lot of people when they see potential in someone, they'll pick them up early on, and they obviously saw it with me. And so they've been very, very good with me in getting me all my products to review and really helping me push the channel. So that's been great. The flip side of it, though, and this is something that no New Zealand retailer is immune from, is the fact that, and for Australians, they have the same problem. The fact that it takes so long to get everything. So I put out the videos as soon as I get the stuff, or I try to. But, oftentimes a product will launch and then it'll be like a month before I can get it, just because it takes so long with the vendors. So that's about the difficult thing, I think, with the with being in New Zealand, or if you're Australian, I mean, that they have the same problem as well. So it just takes a while for tech products to get here, which can be not always. I've had some products I've had for launch, but it's not that often, as often as I'd want. So that's kind of the biggest downside, I would say, with New Zealand, or tech reviewers in Australia have the same problem as well.
Yeah. I got asked for a currency trading site. You can use Owanda.com. They're pretty good. If you're in Japan, you can use, for instance, my bank, Japan Net Bank. They have a currency trading part off your account, which I use. So I use those two. They're very good. I can recommend Owanda. They're really easy to get into. Also for what I got asked how the console killer's going. That's going really well. I've just got to wait for the Xeon chip to come in. It should be like today or tomorrow. And when that comes in, I'll be getting the console killer done for you guys. But as I agree with you on the parts. Some parts are delayed by a lot, especially like peripherals and some of those niche product cases, right? Yeah, cases and peripherals are delayed by a lot sometimes. Generally graphics cards and CPUs are launched on time, within the similar time frame in Oz as opposed to the US. But yeah, some of those niche the products that you're really looking forward to, sometimes they're just so slow to get to Oz or New Zealand. So
yeah, that sucks. There's been times when I've had things very early, which is just because Playtech, basically, with their relationships they have with certain companies, have been able to get me things very early on. The MSI GT80, when I put up my review of the MSI GT80, Linus and the other big channels were only seeing them at a show or something like that, and they were going oh wow, we can't wait to review it. And I had already reviewed it. I got an engineering sample that early on, so it's not always. And also with the monitors, the video I put up the other day, the XB281 HK, there isn't very many reviews of that out right now. I don't think there's another review of it on YouTube, and so I managed to get that one out very quickly as well. So it's not always the case, but so there's sometimes where I'm ahead of the curve, but other times...
Our Skype is going messed up, by the way. We got a connection issue, I think.
Okay, well, we got 200 live viewers, so 200 live viewers, I'm going to ask them in the chat, guys, type 1 if you want Kevin to shave his Revenant beard, or type 2
Wait, hang on
if you
a sec.
wanted to keep it. 2 if you wanted to keep it.
Brian, is the feed breaking up for you on Skype as well from us?
No, I'm pretty good, man. You're getting DDoS, though, yeah?
No, well, coming into me, both of you guys are breaking up. Skype looks like it's pretty laggy.
I can hear you fine, man.
I can hear you, all right?
Yeah, Skype, the video is breaking up a little bit, and both of your audios went bad. Both of you went bad.
So I think Skype
That's fine for me.
It's getting better, but it was pretty bad for just a moment there.
Nah, I'm not. I think I'll keep the beard. Something an Australian doesn't know about is, having a nice.
Oh, we got a mix. We got a mix here. We got a mix. This is it's twos. They want you to keep your Revenant beard.
When your country wins the Rugby World Cup, and and is, it's a real Kiwi thing having a beard, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when it's the middle of summer here and it's 36 degrees.
No, I think I get it. People saying that they can only hear Joker. Yeah, we can hear each other fine because I hosted the Skype call. That makes sense. Joker's getting DDoS, I think.
I'm not getting DDoSed.
Well, I mean, I hosted the Skype call, and I can hear all you guys perfectly fine.
So it's probably the fact that you're hosting.
No, no one DDoSing me. Otherwise, I couldn't hear you.
Well,
guys.
I'm telling you, with the DDoS, it's like because I have TeamSpeak up. The way TeamSpeak works is if there was any lag or intermittent in the connection with my house, the TeamSpeak would disconnect instantaneously.
Okay, yeah. People saying that I sound terrible. Is that?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna wind down the show. I think just a little bit early on the Q&A because the Kevin and Brian's feeds are both coming a little wonky. It looks like I sound okay, but they're coming kind of wonky to me over Skype. So, I'm not sure what the issue is. But yeah, we got through all our we got through all our topics though. Thank you once again, Kevin, for joining us from Tech Showdown. Be sure to check out his channel down in the description box below. I did link it down there. Drake was saying I didn't link it. I linked it. It's down there. I checked Drake. But his channel's down there, so be sure to check that.
But anyway, hopefully this Skype IP hiding gets done, and I will reconnect and get a new IP address. So
it's not me because I switched. It's not me because I switched my VPN over to Astral and I have it running through my modem now on a different IP address. So
sweet, yeah.
It's not even on my PC anymore, so I can't get DDoSed anymore unless someone figures out my VPN IP address, which changes like every hour. So if they could do that, then all the best to them. But sorry about this connection issue at the end here. It's a little weird. It's not like 100% horrible, but it's not great either.
Well, it happened at the end of the show, so it's no biggie. I gotta get to work anyway.
It is weird, but thanks again, Kevin, for coming on. It was good. Hopefully, we can have you on again soon sometime.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'm down anytime you guys want me on. That's cool. I really enjoy it, and you two are a great bunch of guys to talk to, and I think the discussions are really good, and hopefully my views are a bit, they are a bit different from you guys, so that's kind of good. I think it's
very tech centric. That was a good tech focused episode. More tech than gaming. So
all right, guys. Well, I can't emphasize how bad you sound, so I'm going to cut it off for the sake of our viewers' ears. So I will. We'll catch you guys next time. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra. Thanks.